is Michael Delarbe, known as Barakiel on the official forums and on Datasphere. I'm a war correspondent for Corvus Belli. We're based here in Santa Barbara, part of Santa Barbara Wargaming. I'm here to show you Operation Icestorm, or more specifically, since Beast of War has covered everything, why Operation Icestorm is relevant to you, either as a war correspondent, a new player, or a returning player. We've seen sort of the official presentation of Operation Icestorm, but we're going to tackle one of the missions that's contained therein, part of the quick start rules, and part of the really excellent escalation style game modes that Operation Icestorm has to present. Something that allows a war correspondent or a local organizer to help ease new players into it, or to allow two new players to get a feel for everything in and of themselves. Based on everything I've seen so far, it's a really excellent way to help transition new players into the game, and we're going to run through a quick battle report to show this to you.
I'm Mark Ironmonger Sanders. I'm Ironmonger on all the internets, on all the forums. Anyways, I'm going to be the opponent of Barakiel for this particular battle report, and we've had a lot of discussion over the last few days as we've seen some of the new material coming out for Operation Icestorm as a two-player starter, and as you know, Gen Con is swiftly approaching, some of the interesting new developments going on in Corvus Belli and in Infinity in general. As you can see, we've taken the contents of the two-player box and we've basically made a nice hard board out of the mat that's provided, which was originally, you know, it's very nice. It looks good. It's originally kind of a folded up poster. We've made a nice little mat of it. We've taken the terrain that's provided. We've been able to get enough of the Infinity boxes that any of your miniatures will come in pretty much if it's a box. They fit perfectly in there, and so we've been able to create kind of like a demo, so that as Barakiel, as a war corps, as a war corps correspondent, is able to give more and more demos specifically with the contents of the Operation Icestorm two-player box. We'll be able to use this for quite a while. In the future, I guess we'll be playing the second scenario, which is called Seize the Warehouse, Control the Warehouse, Seize the Warehouse.
Secure the warehouse.
Secure the warehouse. We're going to secure that warehouse. I'll be playing Pano, which is essentially 3 Fusiliers and 1 Orc troop, and Barakiel will be playing Nomads, which are 3 Aquiliers and 1
Mobile Brigada.
Mobile Brigada. A really nifty new sculpt for the Mobile Brigada. I literally do not recognize it. And so after we set up, we roll a few dice, we'll come back and we'll tell you about our progress. So, quick note on deployment here. I lost the roll, I guess you would say, to deploy. I failed at the same time that Barakiel was able to succeed with his lieutenant's whip in order to choose if you want deployment or how deployment worked. Anyways, so I've gone ahead and deployed. I have 3 Fusiliers, and then I have an Orc troop. Here's 2 of my Fusiliers. Here's another Fusilier over here, and here's an Orc troop looking very orky, as you can see. I did my best to keep them out of line of fire, because you do not want to be in the, let's just call this the kill zone right here, right? This is just the zone O kill. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got my guys deployed, and I'm going to turn it over to Barakiel now.
Here you can see my 3 Nomad line troopers safely tucked away in total cover, because they tell me that's a good idea. I have the oh-so-lovely new Mobile Brigada.
So good.
He's a manimal. Parked a little further up, hopefully able to shrug off anybody who actually makes it up the table. I mean, it's a small table, it's condensed. It's
33 by 30 by 23.
33 by 23, so it is a smaller table space than a full-size Infinity board, which will also help players not worry about the extraneous details. And as you can see, the terrain is lovely. It really looks good. Fully modular. Fantastic. So it should be a lot of fun to play on, as a matter of fact, even for players who are accustomed to a full-size Infinity table. So, in a game with only 4 miniatures, there's not much of a story to tell. But you can see how wonderful this would be for new players. You don't have to worry about the game starting out too big. All of the scenarios are very clearly partitioned to say, okay, these are the forces you get for this scenario. These are the abilities they have, the weapons they have, the rules they know. So it really helps you to slow grow a new player's understanding of how things break down. It definitely is going to be sort of a dramatic awakening when they go from having an order pool of 4 to 5 orders to be, say, having 10 orders. Because in a game this small, you almost can't reach the other side of the board, let alone having enough orders to fight with. So I opted to pick table side, trusting that Mark might want to go first. Maybe he'll overextend himself, and then I can shoot him. Should be good. Turn 1, we had Mark going first with Pen Oceania. They shuffled on up towards sort of the middle of the table, sort of setting up for an intermediary push in the middle of the game towards my lines. Since they only have a handful of orders in so small a game, there's only so much you can do with the aggression. So he ended up around here. I brought my mobile regatta, just brought him around the flank. He parks right about here, took some shots, ended up dropping a Fusilier. Tried to work on the other one who was in cover, no such luck there. Traded some fire, nothing significant. He pulled on back. I brought another Alguacile over here, up the side, just for a bit of insurance. And that's going to take us into turn 2. But you can see, just in terms of the fundamentals of the game, a lot of really basic good stuff here. We're playing using only the rules that are available in the Quick Start booklet, so no suppression fire, no suppression fire,
no grenades, no prone.
Right, and using the restricted kits, the restricted war gear loadouts that each of the models have. So it's a really nice way to sort of enjoy a more fundamental approach to the game where you can really work on basics. As Mark is showing us, we also have the really nice tokens, the lovely tokens that are included as part of the game. Really good for new players. And that one specifically is the new Lieutenant marker, denoting how the Lieutenant's role will change once we see 3rd edition fully released, properly released, where losing them is a lot less critical, but they're also much more of a public figure.
It's like obvious.
Right, every time you use their order, it's basically announced to the world. So very powerful in a small game like this to have somebody like a Mobile Brigada or an Orc who has that extra order to throw around. But obviously losing them, still not thrilling. But so far, even for both of us who have played in a lot of ITS events, played a lot of different games, it's fun to be able to focus in on such a small microcosm of the game, something that's so simple, but still requires a lot of interesting strategic thought.
And as you can see, the terrain with the board just looks spiffy.
Lovely. Absolutely.
It's lovely for a 2-player starter. Can't imagine a better product.
Yeah, I mean, really, and for a company to actually make money and release something that's so excellent, it's hard to imagine a finer hybrid of the two. It's a really nice board to be playing on, and that'll take us into turn 2.
Okay, so this is the end of turn 2, I guess you would say. A lot kind of happened here, and it's really good that a lot did happen here because it really demonstrates the flexibility of the order system in Infinity as well as in general, as well as Operation Icestorm in particular. If you see down here, basically what I did was I moved my Fusiliers up. I wanted to try to take out this Fusilier over here, and so I did kind of a pincer movement. I started with a Fusilier that was back here. He shot and knocked that Aquilaire. He homeboy went unconscious, and then my other Fusilier climbed up the, or not climbed up the ladder, but came around here and then basically spent a few orders doing cleanup. I was eventually able to kill him, but that was the end of my turn, allowing the Mobile Brigada that Barakiel was controlling to come over here, take a few shots, kill this Fusilier, essentially, and then move another homeboy to start shooting at my orc troop. Now, it was interesting because both the arm and the multi-wound profile on the orc troop enabled him to survive this kind of barrage of shots, and allowed me to, even though I failed a number of dodge rolls, to kind of fail guts into combat, which is where I wanted to be at the end of this turn. So we'll see some close combat here in turn 3, and we'll see how many orders are left over after we take a few swipes at one another.
Turn 3, unsurprisingly, saw a game this small get wrapped up. The orc was in melee with my line trooper. They both swung. Orc with his big, meaty, cyberized fist, and the line trooper with his knife.
Rob.
With
his Fiero.
Yeah, that's the one. The apparently knife fighting in the streets of Corvador is a good life skill to have, because he actually shanked the last wound off of the orc in a feat of failed armor save. Yeah, knives now, pH -1, not great on a pH 10 line trooper, but it got the job done. The last Fusilier scrabbled to a good position up here on this rooftop, looking for a good vantage point from which to defend himself, but took a combi rifle arrow from the Mobile Brigada, and that did him in and put him into the unconscious state. So with no Pano guys conscious at the end of this game, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Scoring for this one is pretty basic. For every guy you kill, you get a point, a battle point. For every guy you have left alive, you get a battle point. And the first person to kill the lieutenant gets 2 battle points. So this one goes to Nomads with 3 guys left, and their lieutenant left alive as well. A very fun little game, fast-paced. Even with filming and all of that, I don't think it took us much more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Really, really ideal for demo play. This is scenario number 2. I highly recommend it for your demo gaming purposes, just because you get the 3 basic line troopers, you get the excellent looking heavy infantry troops, both the Orc and the Mobile Brigada.
Hey, kudos. Kudos, Corvus Belli, kudos.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's also enough orders, including the lieutenant order, to actually try and formulate some kind of strategy and let your opponent see how the order system as a resource management system gives them a lot of flexibility and lets them do things that other game systems can't readily emulate by sending one guy rambling up the table or doing a little bit of everything with all your different soldiers. So definitely more battle reports to come in the future as we continue to explore Operation Icestorm here at Santa Barbara Wargaming. This is Michael Delarb, Barakiel, and Mark Ironmonger Sanders signing off. Have a good one.